डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Namaskar, I Dr. Darshana Dalwadi. Dear learners, today we are going to discuss about software engineering, block 1, unit 4, agile process models. Learners, we have this lecture in the continuation of previous lecture. We were discussing about the agile process models. In previous lecture we discussed what is agile process, what it includes, what are the principles it is using, and different agile process models, in which we were having the discussion of extreme programming agile process model. In this lecture we are going to see about remaining agile process models, and we will sum up at the end of all the agile process models. So first we start with the discussion. Second agile process model we have, that is adaptive software development. Now in this what we are having, adaptive software development is proposed by Jim Highsmith in 2000. It is a technique to build complex software. It applies practices of red model. Red model we have already discussed. So whatever practices means whatever things we were having in red, all these things can be used here. Model focuses on communication and team self-organization. It is a cyclic model which is having 3 stages. Cyclic model means one type of cycle we have, which includes 3 different stages. First stage we have that is speculate. It represents adaptive cycle planning. This stage initiates project by gathering information from customers, which includes primary requirements, constraints and mission statement. A rough planning is done and iteration begins. In speculate actually we are doing the planning. In planning what we include? We include primary requirement of the customer, then whatever constraints are there, that are included, and the mission statement, what is the mission we have, that is included. And based on that a rough planning is done and the iteration begins from that planning stage. Then after we have collaborate. Communication and collaboration is proportional to size and complexity of the project. How much communication you will have and how much collaboration you will have, it depends on the size of your project. To handle complex and large volume of information, collaboration, whatever information and collaboration we have, if large volume is there, then it is necessary to handle it. To solve complex problem, knowledge in diverse fields are required. If we have problem which is very much complex, then the knowledge of different fields which are related to it is required. This leads to team collaboration. For having the knowledge of diverse fields, we need to collaborate with the other person. So that leads to the team collaboration. Thus, collaboration is the ability to work together to produce results, share knowledge or make decisions. So this is what we are having in collaborate. We can say that what do you mean by collaborate in this adaptive software development? If we have to define collaborate, it means that the ability to work together for what? To produce results, to share knowledge or to make decisions. So this is what we have in collaborate. After that we have third stage, that is learn. As the components are being developed, team focuses on enhancement of their knowledge. Learning helps software developers to improve their understanding. As they are developing, they are learning. and as they are learning, it is improving their understanding of that project. So these are the stages we have. As we have seen in beginning that it is a cyclic model. So here you can see first you have speculate, from that the cycle goes to collaborate, and from that the cycle goes to learn, and so on. Again it will start from speculate, collaborate and learn. So this is what we are having in adaptive software development cycle. When we are having this, at that time we are saying here that learn is there, but how the learning is carried out? For carrying out, we are having first one, that is focus group. It consists of customers and end users. They provide feedback on the increments. This indicates if customer requirements are being fulfilled or not. Feedbacks are given, it means what? Customer will suggest if they are satisfied or not satisfied. When they will get satisfied? They will get satisfied only when the requirements are fulfilled. So ultimately we are getting the information that the requirements are fulfilled or not. Then we have technical reviews. Reviews are performed after each iteration. Team members review software components so as to improve its quality. Technical reviews are taken. Why technical reviews are taken? To improve the quality of the components which are developed for the software. Then we have post-mortem. Third one, that is post-mortem. Team must review and reflect upon its performance and process. Team must identify changes in required direction. In this stage, what actually they are doing? They are analyzing themselves only. Whatever task team members are doing, they are analyzing that they are doing this in right direction. If they need to change the direction, then in which direction they should go, or what changes they require in existing direction. So this is what we are having in carrying out learning stage. After that we have some advantages of this adaptive software development. What are they? This process focuses on users, which leads to product being more user centric. It thrives for on-time delivery and more communication and transparency between developer and customer. With it, some disadvantages are also associated. It requires extensive customer involvement, which is sometimes difficult to facilitate. This is benefit also and this is disadvantage also. As more number of customers are involved in the communication, you will get better requirement understanding as well as better you can say constraints. All these things you will get in better form, but at the same time you have to handle that all customers or that all communication you have to handle. It will become difficult. So it is also the disadvantages of facilitating number of customers at the same time. Extensive testing leads to cost increase. Here you have to do testing, so which may lead you the more costing, which is not considered when you were doing the planning. So this may be the disadvantage. After that we are having the third process model. So we will discuss upon dynamic systems development method. It is also called as DSDM. An agile development approach, dynamic system development method DSDM, provides a framework for building and maintaining time constrained systems. It combines best practices of prototyping, incremental and rapid application development (RAD) approach. If we are talking about this dynamic systems development method, we can say it is a combination of prototyping model, incremental model and rapid application development model. DSDM life cycle consists of 5 stages. First stage we have, that is feasibility study. Now in feasibility study what we are having? This stage identifies business requirements for the software which is being developed and business constraints are imposed on it. Based on it, visibility of the product is assessed. Then after we have business study. It identifies functional and information requirements for building the software. It creates basic architecture of the application. Then after third stage we have, that is functional model iteration. A number of prototypes are produced. These prototypes demonstrate fulfillment of customer requirements through implementation of functionality. Through user feedback, additional requirements are gathered. And remaining 2 stages are design and build iteration. After prototyping stage, all the functional requirements will be gathered. In this stage, software is designed and built anew, means a new software is built. Then implementation. Last stage we have, that is implementation. Software increments are tested in operation environment, and as they are tested, project falls into next iteration. It is having some advantages. What are that advantages? End user are more involved, leading to better understanding and implementation of functions. Software is developed in increments. Through collecting customer feedback, it can be improvised in next iteration. Budget and schedule remains in check. So these are the advantages we have. And what are the disadvantages? It needs expertise to implement the model. As we have seen that it is a combination of 3 models: prototyping, iteration and red model. So you need some expertise to implement this model. What things you will take from which model and how you will combine, that needs expertise, and it is not applicable for small budget projects. These are the disadvantages we have for this dynamic systems development method. Then after we have 4th model, that is Scrum. Scrum is an agile development process model and developed by Jeff Sutherland in team in 1990. It works on some principles. First principle we have, that is Scrum relies on a small and self-organizing team. The Scrum team is self-organizing in a manner that there is no overall team leader. This model suggests that if you are a team, you are a team only. No leader is there, means all are equal in that team. So that is the first principle we have in Scrum model, that it is having a small team which will have self-organizing, means all are behaving by themselves only, means no one is there to take care of how they are behaving. They are self-organizing and treating each and every person as a similar person, means at the similar level. Then whatever issues are there and whatever problems are there, the whole team is solving it as a team only, means all the members are taking part to solve the issues and problems if they have. Then team is cross-functional. Every developer must take a feature from idea up to its implementation, means team members are considering each and every one as they are, means whatever designation they have, they are considering the other at the same designation, at the same level, not only in the terms of designation but in the terms of work also, means whatever work the team is doing, that work is of team, not of an individual person. So each and every person must know each and everything from beginning to the end, means from the designing, or we can say from the planning to the implementation. Process adapts to changes in technical and business requirements. Software is produced in increments. These increments are reviewed and adjusted. Low coupling between work products and developers. Constant testing and documentation is performed throughout the project. Project can be declared complete at any given time. So these are the principles we have which we are following in Scrum model. Here you can see the figurative representation of Scrum model. You can see in one circle it is written 30 days and below it is written sprint. So whatever product we are getting in this model is called as the sprint. You can see here 30 days are there that are divided into some different parts. From it you can see one part is highlighted with blue color, which indicates that a small part of that 30 days. What they are doing in it? They are doing daily scrum. Now you may have the question that what is daily scrum and what is this product, what is this sprint, what is this sprint backlog. All these are coming in next discussion, but here you have to understand that how it is working. You can consider that when you are having any software development project, you are working in a team, and from starting to end you are working like a person who is knowing each and everything. Now what they are doing to complete this task, that we are going to see. When we have this Scrum process, it is applied through framework activities, which are that requirements, analysis, design, evaluation and delivery. Within an activity, a process pattern is applied to each work task, which is known as sprint. As I said you that when we are having this Scrum model, we will have one sprint. Now you may have the doubt clear, that is what is the meaning of sprint. Sprint means you can consider as an activity, a process pattern which is applied to each work task. To it the name is given is sprint. Work conducted during sprint is adapted for the problem at the hand and also modifies during work task. Scrum stresses on use of proven and effective software patterns. These patterns can accommodate tight schedules and changes in remaining requirements. Some activities are there which are carried out during the whole process. First one we have, that is backlog. Now what do you mean by backlog? A priority list which is containing important business requirements which are to be developed. That list is created, that is called as the backlog. This list can be updated anytime by project managers. Then after we are having the second term, that is sprint. We have seen what is it, but what actually how it is carried out, that we are going to see here. Sprint is project team's to-do list. The requirements from backlog that need to be finished first are being developed. During sprint, the backlog items which are being developed are frozen. No changes are allowed in them, means whatever list you have in sprint, you are not going to do any changes. If it is in backlog, then you can do changes. If changes are there, then that can be accommodated in backlog, but when it comes in sprint, you are not able to do any changes. This allows team members to work in stable environment. Then after we have Scrum meetings. When we have Scrum model, at that time we have Scrum meetings. They are of short duration and held daily. Daily they are doing the meeting, and when they are meeting, at that time what they are actually doing? Team members are asked three type of questions that are called three key questions. What are that key questions? First question we have, that is, what did you do since last meeting? As we know that these scrum meetings are conducted on daily basis. It means you have to do update of every day, whatever activity you are doing. That is the first question. What did you do since last meeting? Second key question, what obstacles you faced? When you discuss that whatever task we were assigned, we were trying to implement it. So during the implementation, if any obstacles you have faced, then explain it, or you can discuss it, that we were having such points, we were having such difficulties which we were trying to solve. Whether it is solved or not, you can discuss. And third key question we have, what do you plan to complete before next meeting? Suppose it is already solved out. If you faced any difficulty and if it is solved out, then there is no point of discussion. But if it is not solved out, then you have to give them the explanation that before the next meeting, what will you do? Means if you have any plan, how it will get sorted out, or if you do not have any plan, then you can discuss so that you can get any suggestions from other team members. So this is what they are doing in Scrum meeting. Scrum meeting helps uncover potential problems at early stage. This meeting leads to dissemination of information in team members. Actually you are transferring, or you can say you are communicating with team members. You are sending your information to them, you are sharing it, you are getting it, everything you can say. That is what we are having in Scrum meeting. Sharing of information in sense of software's development, in sense of any difficulties if you have faced. So when we are having this Scrum meeting, all these things are going to be discussed. And as we have this Scrum meeting, we will have one Scrum Master. Who is he? Scrum Master is the team leader who leads the meeting and evaluates responses of all team members. We can say the host. The team member who is hosting the whole meeting is called as the Scrum Master, who will lead the meeting and evaluates the responses which are coming from all team members. After that we have demos. They are software increments delivered to the customers. Customers evaluate them and provide their feedback. Demo may not contain full functionality. It is not so that when you are giving the demo, it means it will have each and every functionality. It may be your prototyping type of version, means all the functionalities are not given, but basic functionalities are given and given to the user to use. So that is coming under demos. Now after that we are having some advantages. What are they? Projects are delivered within bound of time and money. Large and complex projects are divided into smaller components and achieved. Each release are evaluated by customers. They give their feedback on it. Feedback are adapted in the next release, as the customers are giving feedback, but in that release the feedbacks are not accommodated, means changes are not accommodated. They are accommodated. After accommodating it, new release will be there, means in new release the effect will be there. This leads to user requirement satisfaction. During Scrum meeting, each member has chance to put their work forward. As we have discussed that when we are having this Scrum meeting, they are asked whatever type of problems you have faced, you can discuss. So the team members are getting chance to get put the work whatever they have done in front of all other team members. They can put it forward, which may help others also and boost their own confidence also. So these are the advantages we have of Scrum. Then after, some disadvantages are also there. Now what are that disadvantages? Planning is difficult for this model. If team members are not committed, chance of project failure is high. Needs experienced developers to implement Scrum model. Due to less weight on testing, quality may be questionable. As we have seen that we are not focusing more on testing. So what type of quality you will get, that is a point to consider. Not to be used for large projects. So these are the disadvantages we have for Scrum model. After that, we are having the fifth model, that is Crystal. Crystal model was developed by Alistair Cockburn and Jim Highsmith. It is a lightweight and adaptive approach for Agile software development. Crystal is a set of Agile methods named as Crystal Clear, Crystal Orange, Crystal Yellow, and many more such type of methods. Each method is applicable to certain project and environment. The characteristics addressed by Crystal methods are team size, criticality of project, and many things you can consider. Models of Crystal family thrives on flexibility. Means you are getting more flexibility in such type of models. Development process frameworks are followed for the development. Development team selects base method at the beginning of the project. Developers are allowed to use techniques borrowed from other methodologies. Means every time it is not so that you have to give your own technique or you have to use your own technique. You can borrow it, which is already in existence, you can use it. To monitor and tune the development, reflection workshops are organized. When we are talking about this Crystal model, some advantages are that there it delivers software in increments which is reviewable by customers, and it provides, the customers are providing feedback also. Feedback is used to improve next increment. It is a flexible process. With it, some disadvantages are also connected. First one, not suitable for high risk project, and high degree of communication in team are required. After that, we have feature driven development. This model was conceived by Peter Code and team. It is applicable for object-oriented software engineering. This model was extended by Stephen Palmer and John Felsing. This model follows practical approach to fulfill customer requirements. It is a client-centric model. Tasks are produced in a short time. The feature is a small portion of customer requirements. For example, we can say calculate total sales. It is a one type of feature which is expressed in, I said you that it is object oriented software engineering. So in it you are going to define some object, some result and some action. Here for this feature, calculate total sales, if you want to express it, then you can have this different tags: action, result and object. Now action will be what? Action can be, for this example, here we have calculate total sales. So in this the action will be calculate, means what task you are doing. Like you can have calculating or making, like that. Object will be, it can be a person or thing such as sales or products, etc. For this example, we have calculate total sales. So cells will be our object, and action is applied on object to obtain the result. Getting? Object here is what? Cells. Action is what? Calculating is applied to get the result. That will be our result tag. This feature driven development model have 5 framework activities. The first activity leads to development of an overall model. You can say initial result of this activity will be an object model. Second one we have, that is during the second activity a features list are built. These lists are grouped according to their subject areas. Third one we have, that is next step performs planning by feature. This activity identifies of class owners and feature set owners. And fourth and fifth activities are about detailed programming packaging of the system. Here you can see how the feature driven development process is. First you have developed an overall model, then build a feature list, then plan by feature, design by feature, build by feature. These are the different activities we have in this feature driven model. Its advantages are: features are small portion of a functionality, customers easily describe and evaluate them. A hierarchical function related grouping of the features are possible. It needs less time to develop a feature, making possible to release features in a short time. It is easy to design and develop features. Project planning and scheduling is easy. Supports multiple teams working in parallel. These are advantages we have. With it, some disadvantages are also there. It is not a good method for small projects. If projects are small, it is not advisable to use this feature driven development. You can use it for bigger projects. Less documentation may lead to a confusion, means documentation is not in detail, so you may get confused at later time. After that we are having seventh one, that is agile modeling. For developing large and complex systems, agile model is applied. Agile modeling is also a combination of incremental and iterative process model. Customer satisfaction and process adaptability are its main focus. Agile method divides software into small manageable tasks. Each task are divided among team members. Some modeling manifestos are there for agile model. Purposeful model. Developer shall have a clear goal for using the model. For example, communication with customer regarding constraint on software. National notation and level of details depend on model to be used. Then user alternatives. There are many models and various notations for designing. Each model identifies different features of software system. Developer must identify the model which will describe features of software to be developed the best. Then next one we have, that is less is beautiful. Do not mix multiple models for different activities. Apply only those models that have long-term value for the software. After that we have trade-off. Trade-off between content and its representation. Content are always more important than its representation. Apply those models that can convey information to users. After that we have knowledge. Developers must have knowledge about model and tools they are using. Every model and tool has its own strength and weaknesses. So based on that only you have to decide which type of thing you are going to use. Then after we have adaptation. Model being applied must be adapted according to software being developed and the team working on it. Here you can see the process model of agile model. First It will start from requirement, it will go to design, then develop, then test, then deploy, then review, and again so on. You can have this cycle. Its advantages are, it is a realistic model for software development, quick development and fast release, suitable for any type of requirements, supports teamwork, easy to manage, give flexibility to developers. So these are the advantages with it. The disadvantages are very less planning, which is leading to schedule overrun. It may affect maintainability. Not suitable for projects having complex dependencies between its components. Less documentation leads to confusion during the staff turnover. So this is what we are having in agile development process models, and this is the summing up of whole lecture. As we have discussed, whatever type of softwares we are having, what actually it includes in this, it stresses on which thing, different models are stressing on different thing. So this is what we are having in agile development process model. So dear learners, today we are ending with unit 4 agile process models. Next thing we will discuss in next lecture. Up to that, have a good time. Namaskar.
स्वाध्यायः परः